What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to do a live stream with you, go over a lot of the technicals and everything that's behind Lucid, why also Lucid is going to be such a big deal, and one more speculative kind of topic. I'll do a lot of technical analysis as well at the end. Do a little bit of Q&A as well, all that fun stuff. As you can see on the screen, I have Lucid, our favorite, Tesla, and Rivian. So obviously you can kind of see what is going on with the competitors as well. And it's definitely faring fairly well, especially considering there was a massive sell-off that did happen, and I'm sure a lot of you are aware of that. I'm going to touch on exactly why that happened, but definitely low of today was 49.41. So in that regard, like massive buying opportunities. So again, if you don't know what actually happened, there's a little bit of a new variant that is coming out that started out in South Africa, and yeah, it's basically causing a lot of fear, even oil to tumble around $10 a barrel. So a lot of things that are kind of influencing the price right now. All amazing buying opportunities though, because this isn't the first variant that has come out, and every variant causes these little bit of a sell-offs. Again, it's one of those things that you have to do what you feel is best at the end of the day, but there is obviously, these are massive buying opportunities. So I just want to go over a lot of the data points as I usually do. Looking at this right now, short interest on Lucid 8.68, utilization 60.14, so pretty good overall. Day by day change, it did increase by 1.35%, and obviously that was largely assumed that was going to happen, because especially the short interest as well. Do want to show you this just based on the chart. I'll just make this a full screen. So pull up the short interest, so you can kind of see on that blue line right here, shorts have kind of increased on a looking at the overall chart. Actually, I'll make it a little bit easier for you guys to see. Okay, so yeah, overall you can see that there is a trend that is starting to form, and it's obviously fairly negative. Shorts are ultimately getting in. So the weird thing is, despite the huge amount of shorts entering into Lucid, the price has been going up. So again, that is very good. It's one of those things that they will possibly be forced to exit. Again, it's not one of those things that Lucid is a short squeeze by any means, and I don't want to give you false hope. But given the right circumstances, especially over the last couple of Fridays, there has been a lot of gamma squeezes, and option games on Lucid has been astronomical. And even looking at this right now, so this column, you can see the volume, open interest, and this is for expiring today. There is a lot of open interest all around the $50 mark, so 50 plus. All great buying opportunities, because we've been holding $50 for for so long as well, despite the massive sell-off that's happened this week. Like I said, 49.41 as far as the low. I'm going to do a lot of technical analysis near the end, break it down exactly what you need to know. But right now, our first support level is 50, 48, and 46. So we are bouncing back and holding very strong. On the contrary though, looking at resistance points, I'm going to touch on this a little bit more in depth near the end, but 54, 55, and 57. So a lot of room to go up. So also some data points I do want to bring up. A lot of institutional and hedge funds physically getting into Lucid. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, smash a thumbs up if you haven't already. I appreciate that. Also, don't forget to join my memberships, link in the description below. I'm going to be starting to do live streams as well for members only, so over and above this. So you can definitely ask one-on-one questions, but more of an incentive to sign up and become a member as well. So definitely do that. But looking at this as well, so institutions and hedge funds have been getting in, and this is the ETF season for declaring. And you can see, obviously, Lucid has been added to a lot of ETFs, and a lot of big ones as well. So that's definitely good, and more transparency. That will cause a little bit more fluctuations, because a lot of ETFs and hedge funds included do rebalance, especially near the tail end of the year. So every video I've done an update on this, because I do find this very beneficial. A lot of individuals like to know exactly what institutions, hedge funds physically getting and buy and so forth, because a lot of them mimic those trades. I'm not saying it's nothing wrong with that. If you like that and it's working for you, then yeah, you might as well do that. But looking at this wall of green, there's been a lot of institutions getting in a substantial amount, and this is just up until November 15th. There's a lot. And I don't want to, obviously that's to be expected, because Lucid is hot right now. It's the newest thing. It's honestly, it's a very disruptive company. And so it's obviously assumed that there's going to be a lot of institutions getting in. Same with shorts as well. Shorts I would have assumed should have been around a 6% right now, so 8.68. That's a little bit of kind of an overall thing. And looking at this, these are some stats that I overall like to represent and show you. Again, the reasons why we are buying into Lucid. So institutional percentages as of right now, 68.94. Keep in mind the PIF is counted as the insiders, so that's 63. So obviously you can kind of tell based on everything there has been some selling out, because as of right now, insiders, especially from Saudi Arabia and everything like that, included, I believe, is up to 63%. So obviously there was a little bit of a sell-off because it was around 65, but this is one substantial thing that I always like to point out. Total cash equivalents and short-term investments, 4.8 billion, whereas debt is 261 million. So a lot of money to actually work on advancements as well. So with that, advancements, gravity. So the next big project, especially I believe they are starting to start that, even based on the earnings as well. This is under the SEC, so in case you're interested in taking a look at that. So you can see we are expected to begin production of the Project Gravity at the end of 2023. So a lot of good things. And not only that, it does say in here that they are going to be using the same technology to produce the Project Gravity, and there's no new technology or anything that they need for as far as like kind of machines and things like that. So they have everything capable. So everything that is producing the air can produce the gravity. So that is one key thing that is very good that I don't feel a lot of people have actually brought up. So this is why I like to look at their earnings and read through the fine print. As much as it is nice to read through and look at the numbers increasing, especially in revenue cases and stuff like that, I like to read this. This is the fine print. This is the bread and butter. Whether a company is trying to hide something or not, this is where they put it. So that is a lot of good things. And not only that, there's a lot of articles coming out about the gravity as well, because especially Lucid's hit a home run with the air. There's been a lot of good things. And not only that, they are posting a lot on Twitter. So they are doing a lot of deliveries for 2021. That was the biggest kind of concern for them, is that we don't know as of right now if they'll miss or exceed our expectations as far as the 2021 deliveries. There is a lot of high expectation that they will, because like I said, I almost say almost every video, they haven't let us down as investors one bit. So there's no reason to doubt them. There is a lot of individuals out there trying to cause some issues. You can even see on this. So someone posted like build quality. So obviously it just shows some pretty bad looking errors. But in reality, especially based on the comments as well, it does look like it was a showroom one, which obviously everyone and their dog beats on those cars to a T. So it's just one of those things that people are trying to bring down Lucid and have been for quite some time. So as you can kind of tell where I'm going with this video is there's so many things that are like very, very good for, especially not only right now to invest in, but even for the future for Lucid. So I did do this on one of my other videos. So this is under Bear's workshop. He did an aerial view with a drone. A lot of good things, a lot of advancements. So you can see right here, this is the amp. So amp 1, a lot of good tech. So right now, 34,000 phase 1 for units per capacity. Phase 2 is 90, and 365 is the full at full use with everything. So that is massive. One thing now I want to bring up that's a little bit more speculative. I did kind of touch on that on a previous video, but there was more kind of news that came out. And that is, and unfortunately I did get a lot of pushback, but Cathie Woods. So Cathie Woods investing in Lucid. I got kind of mixed signals. A lot of people seemed optimistic about that. Some people just said, you know what, she's sticking with Tesla and that's it. Well, if you actually think about it, why do you think she invested in Tesla? Well, it is because obviously the AI component, obviously the tech is a big thing, especially when it comes to Cathie Woods. And not only that, it's a disruptor. So those are one of the main factors why she actually liked Tesla, and especially considering she called it a value stock, which I think at that time in 2019, it definitely was. But in comparison, Lucid is that value stock right now. So it does meet everything, all of her criteria, hits every check mark that needs to be done as far as investing in Lucid. So I want to honestly humor the idea that she can definitely, and if hasn't already, started to look at it. Because Kathy is one of those ones that she would rather wait for a company to actually go up to confirm that they actually know what they're doing before just jumping in. Because sometimes she's risk adverse, right? She likes to make sure that a company actually does what they say before investing, as she did with Tesla. And it's one of those things right here. So Kathy Woods says that her firm is testing a more aggressive strategy that would be a ARK on steroids. And it goes over some criteria that she would be mentioning, and 100% Lucid would be optimum for that. And I think, to be honest, Lucid is a little bit better than kind of this strategy. In reality, unless they miss on their 2021 earnings, again, I don't anticipate that. But I do strongly feel that the fact that even including on this aggressive strategy in this ETF would be insane and very good for Lucid, because I honestly look at this, just for argument's sake again. I know I've also had people in the comments say, why would Kathy Woods look at Lucid at all? Well, because this, look at all these institutions. You're telling me that all of these, and this is still, look at me scrolling, November the 12th. Look at this. Vanguard, why would Vanguard, BlackRock, all these institutions, and look, I'm still scrolling. Why would all these institutions, and this is, I think, what caused a little bit of an issue. People sold off, institutions sold off before that, the lockout. But you can see right here, so as of this, basically, a lot of institutions physically getting in, substantial amount. Why would all these get in when supposedly Kathy Woods wouldn't? And in reality, like I already said, meets all of her criteria. Everything that Kathy likes about Tesla is basically mirrored, if not better, with Lucid. And especially considering, like I already said, it's a big value stock. So what would that do for the overall price? A lot, substantial amount. And yeah, it's just one of those things. So a lot of good things coming. And I know right now it's a little bit of a fear going on right now, especially about deliveries. Deliveries are kind of the pinnacle, and especially how I think it's a good way to put it in perspective is the fact that at the end of the day, when, for instance, when Netflix came out, yes, they had some benchmarks, but ultimately it came down to their price fluctuated based on users, I guess. But I do feel that most likely for the remaining of 2021 and possibly up until their next earnings, it's going to follow that same criteria that Netflix did. So it's going to follow whether they actually meet their deliveries or not, regardless of what happens in the overall economy. So there is a lot of good things, and they have a sufficient amount of cash to meet and do all those deliveries, and especially for the most part, do about the 17,000 in reservations for 2022 that they already do have. They have more than enough cash to actually do all that as well. And when it comes down to as far as growth, like I've already mentioned right here, and especially you can already see it starting to break ground a little bit. So a lot of good as far as potential growth in the future, especially by China mid-decade 2025, Saudi Arabia by 2024, early 2024. A lot of good things going on for Lucid. And with that, I just want to just show you this. So looking at this right now, and one thing over and above, again, it's still ticking, as you can kind of see at the very bottom, Lucid. So not only is everything I mentioned about Lucid very advantageous, huge buying opportunity right now, and has been for quite some time. That's obviously why there's so much kind of momentum going on with it. But look at it. So Lucid, typically when I learned to invest, and I've been investing for quite some time, it's always, if you are going to be comparing either the first and second or two similar products together, whatever acts better during downtrends is usually the better buy. So for instance, today we sold off because of whatever X factor, whatever you want to say, whether it be interest rates or things like that, there was a sell-off today. But looking at this right now, so you can see Lucid is currently down 1.6%, Tesla down 3%, and Rivian, obviously nobody cares about Rivian. I just put that on there because I guess some people do, but 2%. So at the end of the day, if you were wanting to compare ideally Lucid and Tesla, then in reality, yeah, it's a lot more beneficial. It shows that Lucid is holding up more better, or obviously substantially better. And not only that, I have at the very bottom of the right, you can see block volume. That's typically institutions. So not only did I show you the huge amount of institutions getting in, it's still buying on a daily basis. So you can see substantially more than Tesla. So right now the block volume, 2.5 million shares being traded. So that's just between institutions, right? That's outside the secondary market. As far as volume on the for Lucid, like you can see, it is like in general, everything seems to be below the average right now, but still substantial amount of volume. So 36 million shares being traded right now, a lot going on. And even looking at the chart right here, everything is perfect. So right now I have the 20, 50, and 100-day moving averages as so pretty good representation, everything you need here. As far as on actual indicators, I have the momentum, RSI, and stochastic. So again, good representation, everything you need to know. This is key. Momentum is still hot, and it definitely shows, this in reality shows the number of buyers physically getting into whatever asset you're looking at. So anything above 0 hypothetically is more buyers. So definitely did look like, and it has looked like for quite some time, we are getting a lot of new blood on a daily basis, and that is key. And despite this, so one thing I don't like, and again, if you do watch my channel a lot, you know I don't like this. This is very sexy. It's so, it's very, it's perfect if you buy here and sell here. But in reality, when these kind of situations occur, it typically falls down further than what it does. And in reality, it did. So how I see things right now, this isn't realistic. This is. And it's basically, this is a perfect chart of exactly a very bullish chart, exactly what it should look like. A lot of volume, nice technicals, making good support levels every step of the way. And see here on this little blip going on here, number of buyers went up dramatically. Whereas with this is nice natural growth. Again, goes back to the point where it's natural. Everything is actually happening for a reason. And especially with this sell-off that has happened over the last week, it shows that we've held very well. So overall, technicals are showing very good. RSI, you can see it has had different stages where it's relatively high because there was a lot of doubt when it comes to Lucid, and especially in comparison, Tesla didn't do good when it first had its delivery, so the expectation was Lucid wasn't going to either. But in reality, they did. They did phenomenal, and this is why it went up as much as it did, and this is why, unfortunately, when it comes to our side, there has been kind of overbought scenarios, but in reality, it's still fairly high because there's such a high demand on Lucid, and people are finally realizing Lucid is the real deal. So with that, there's a lot of good things to continuously talk about for Lucid, and honestly, it's phenomenal. And like I already mentioned, as far as the resistance points, we are fairly low, but that's obviously because of the broader market in reality, and that's why we're closer to the support levels. But in reality, looking at this, you can see the resistance points, and 54, 55, and 57. So definitely a lot of higher expectation, and there's, as far as the risk versus reward, it's massive on that. So I'm just going to take a peek at some of the comments. Okay, so don't forget to, if you guys haven't, smash a thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. I greatly appreciate all of that. If you do have any comments, questions, concerns, whatever it might be, definitely leave them in the comments below. A lot of good things going on with Lucid. Also, let me know if you have been buying, because again, it's one of those things that's very advantageous to do so. And yeah, a lot of different reasons. And for those that do watch my channel, you know, almost every video I bring up a new catalyst, and because it's rightfully so, there's so many different ways that Lucid could be played and different reasons why you could be buying into Lucid, because again, it's one of those things that if you like, I don't know, just growth or whatever it is, there's a lot of different things. And even shorts, even if you think that this is a potential short squeeze, then yeah, in reality, it could. Most likely not, because 8% is fairly low. And even just comparing, looking at Tesla right now, yeah, Ortex started this new, oh, it's right there, this new beta kind of thing. So okay, so yeah, definitely you can see the sell-off that has happened. This is the intraday chart for Tesla, all over the place, but you can see it is starting to kind of find something. What I want to show you though is the shorts. So short interest on Tesla is ideally what it should be, so 2%, so 2.7% of the free float, and in reality that's what honestly Lucid should be. Just right now there's still a lot of speculation when it comes to Lucid. Like I said, we don't know about deliveries. It's all over the place, and looking at this, there's a lot of support, everything like that. It's just finding a happy kind of place right now. But you can kind of tell on the intraday chart though the difference between Lucid and Tesla. The fact is that yes, we've had pretty strong support levels at the $50 mark. We have had that all week, but we've broken out, and that's key. And again, if you're going to be comparing and contrasting between Lucid and Tesla on a technical stance, it definitely shows that Lucid is a lot more advantageous to get in. So there is, like I said, a lot going on. Average volume goes over everything here, but yeah, with that, let's see. So also one thing I did want to I was debating bringing up. So as you can kind of see, it kind of gives you the basic concept of the gravity and goes over basic stats, but it does touch on this. So Lucid Motors has a 113 kilowatt battery, and obviously it's one of those things that, I don't know, did you guys see that YouTuber that talked about how Lucid was a fraud, especially about the air, saying that it's not in reality 113, it's in reality 138 battery pack size? Because I watched it, and I don't know, I'm interested to see what people's perspective on that is, or if it's just or they just see some old guy ranting. So I'm kind of interested about that and what people's perspective on that is, because in reality I don't see it as that big of a deal. But oh, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. About no, you're welcome. Somehow I was not getting any comments until now. Thoughts on Apple partnership? So I did do a video on that. In reality, I don't really think it's advantageous. So I think initially, from the get-go, if there is an Apple Lucid partnership, it will benefit Lucid because they have a huge growth plans, right? They want to do Saudi Arabia, which obviously if Apple does that, they get an easy in. And Lucid would definitely help offset some of the costs of doing so. But I think at the end, after that initial advancement stage, it would benefit Apple significantly more than Lucid. I do not understand TVs. So yeah, it's one of those things that I think it's not beneficial for Lucid. Because I think the only thing is, especially like for instance this, like total cash equivalents and short-term investments, 4.8 billion. Yes, that's like a pretty good chunk of change, but in reality, that's not enough, because just the Saudi Arabia plant, they want that I believe costs about 3 billion, right? And especially to meet the 20,000 for 2022 expectations for deliveries, they need to step up their game. They need to have more sufficient capital. So in that regard, I don't see, I don't know, could be. Okay, so don't be too optimistic. Well, I think, well, someone has to be optimistic here, right? Can't just have everyone negative. And I'm not saying that there's no risks at all. I have said, especially in some of my videos, and I get pushback a lot on that for some reason. And my channel, I always like to bring up the risks, right? So when it comes to, for instance, risks, if you guys are caring about risks for Lucid, a company such as even Tesla, as advanced and far as it is, if interest rates were to go up, all of these growth stocks will get massacred. And especially when it comes to Tesla and a lot of these EVs, the profit margins, and especially the dependence on the infrastructure bill are all pivotal things, pivotal massive things that could destroy not just Lucid, but the EVs in general. So take away those grants, those tax rebates, and also interest rates increasing. All of this would definitely suffer a lot. So yeah, it's that if obviously Lucid doesn't meet their 2021 deliveries, like I already said about Netflix and that comparison, if Lucid doesn't do their 2021 deliveries, then yeah, that's also another risk. And also you can always take a look at this, right? Like I said, their filings, their reports. Looking at on this, there is a lot of actual risks involved. You can even just scroll up there or even just type in so risk factors. They bring up different risk factors for absolutely everything. Even in the one early report, there's 150 hits of risk. So again, it's one of those things. Yeah, there's a lot of risk. I'm not saying that there's not at all, but it's as far as a risk versus reward, there's a lot more upside than downside. So, and back to this, I pulled this up. So Apple. So if Apple, even hypothetically wanted to help fund Lucid, again, initially as far as expansion, they have 62.64 billion in total cash equivalents and short-term investments. So they can definitely help a lot, and they would definitely as well. So yeah, battery partnership, that would definitely be good. Yep. I agree with you. I do believe that as far as retesting 50 it's in the cards. Definitely more than definitely. Whether it be this round, because I do feel that we'll probably getting closer to it. I think we'll test around most likely the $50 mark either early next week, depending on how things progress, right? Because right now all I see is nothing but negative news, and that's typically what happens on sell-off days. But when it comes to this as well, already restricting travel and like things like that, it's a little bit overboard, considering I think this is like the new, the fourth variant that they've caused a little bit of a sell-off on. But it's one of those things that great buying opportunities, right? Because if you were to look at any of the dips that have happened, we are substantially higher after each one. So yeah, it's one of those things that depending on how much we sell off, right? Wall Street bets guy as avatar dude knows the stuff. Any evidence it will meet 520 deliveries? That's a good question, because in how do I put this? Well, I think this is one negative and possibly a risk, but keep in mind, I think they are doing this just to avoid it, right? If they actually start giving actual numbers, because on Twitter that's basically the only way that we actually know and kind of have been watching stuff, right? So when it comes to Twitter, you see these one little individual deliveries and things like that, but as far as a grouping, they've had was I believe 3 actual delivery events, none of which they've actually declared how many they've delivered each one. Just the first one, obviously on October the 30th, they did say, kind of give a hint saying that there's 65 miles down, 455 to go. Obviously insinuating overall 520. So yeah, it's one of those things that we don't know exactly how much, and I think they're just doing that on purpose, just to leave it up in the air. But in reality, I do see us, I would like to say, around the 200 mark, because they have posted quite a lot of these, right? These individual ones, almost about 2 a day. So assuming that, then yeah, I do feel that they can get to the 520. As of right now, there's no evidence, and anyone saying that they do have it is lying, unfortunately. But again, it goes back to one of those things that there is risks, right? There's always risks, a lot of risks. But yeah, a lot of people seem to really get hyped up over the Apple partnership. I'm just going to show you this right here. If you guys haven't already, make sure you smash the thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. So I do a lot of community tabs and kind of get a good representation and see what everyone thinks about the stock, right? So for instance here, so is Lucid going to work with Apple? So majority said yes, but as far as on the overall, there's about 40 something percent. So it's kind of mixed, right? 43% say no, or at least Lucid is better without them, and 57 said yes. So there's a lot of different things playing at Lucid, and all reasons that you can either buy or avoid it. In reality, I don't feel that Lucid will actually work with Apple. Although both like very high products, high quality products and things like that, I think Lucid is ultimately better off without them. And they would have sought out a Apple competitor or Apple like company for funding instead of like Saudi Arabia and things like that, right? Lucid is definitely very well established right now. But yeah, there's a lot of different things, a lot of consensus at the end of the year. Do feel that 70 plus is very attainable. So even in comparison, like I said, right now we are currently sitting at 51.72. Just want to make sure that's still updating. Yeah, 51.72. Is it? Why is the bid and ask 51.20? That's a little bit odd, isn't it? So last sale price was 51.72, but the bid and ask 51.20. So that's a little bit odd to me. Lack of buyers, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. That's unless my platform's glitching. I don't know. Who knows? No, I haven't actually looked at Bear's Workshop on Twitter. Let's see. That's clear on it. Yeah, I'll find it after. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. Yeah, based on his YouTube though, it does look like he has pretty good product, right? I saw some other people kind of actually, or was it maybe his? Because I think he did a couple other, yeah. That's pretty sweet, actually. I actually got myself a drone. Actually, I kind of live too far away from any good things to actually see, but. Oh, he did say, okay. He said Lucid will surpass 520. That's possible. Hey, Jack. Yeah, we're all about evidence here. But yeah, when it comes to Lucid surpassing 520, that if he's saying that, then yeah, definitely it looks like he is very well positioned to make a pretty good understanding, or at least thought on that. Well, considering that looks different from that. So November 24th compared to November 17th. 30 cars in production, whereas this, it does look like in this row, it's kind of hard to look at the thumbnail. You can kind of see about 4 different rows of cars. So yeah, hypothetically, if almost every week they're doing 30 deliveries, then yeah, that does meet the criteria of doing that 520. Yeah, see, something's happening with the market, eh? Look at what exactly has been happening, right? So everything's all over the place, very constant movement. Lately, you get this. You were getting just nibbles. And whereas actually looking at the ticker at the very bottom, it still shows that gap. Or is it early hours today? Oh, yes, that's why. Isn't it reduced hours, I think, on the market? I forget some days. Some days I just forget what day of the week it is. Yeah. But honestly, I think out of everything, that's one of the biggest negative things that could affect Lucid is if they don't meet their deliveries, right? If they don't meet their deliveries, then it could substantially affect the price. But in reality, I don't see us getting to the 20s ever, unless there's a massive market sell-off. But yeah, there's a lot of good things. And what I like about Lucid right now is that there's a lot of good articles coming out almost like every day, hands down. So it's one of those things that you kind of just have to do your own due diligence, research a lot, because there's a lot of some good like positives out there about it. And like I said, if Kathy gets in or even hints about looking at Lucid, especially this new aggressive strategy with ARK on steroids, if she adds Lucid to that or even thinks about it, that would be insane. Would definitely get the price substantially higher than what it is. So again, it's one of those things. I think too many people are worried about the short-term kind of issues about it. But in reality, when it comes to Lucid, it's a disruptor, right? No different than Tesla. The exact same reasons why Kathy got into Tesla and reasons why she likes it. So yeah, it's all about patience, right? And especially, this is why I do feel that Lucid easily will be a 200 plus stock next year, is because of its growth, right? Huge amount of growth. And yeah, there's like so many, and even if for those of you that have read a lot of their earnings and especially like the fine print, it does hint that they are already getting established to kind of expand at a fast rate. The only thing, obviously, looking at the economic calendar, Monday does look like Powell. Some of the upcoming things. Yeah, things go slow when I have 50 tabs, or it doesn't help there. Let's see this next week. So, yeah, clearly Powell. The rest of the week does seem, as far as I'm aware, pretty good. But yeah, nothing to at least disrupt Lucid's momentum and things like that. Oh, really? Okay. Oh, that's something I never actually really considered, is the charging time. But yeah, no, it's definitely good. Reserved both. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Right now, Lucid has a better product. They're very well established, and I like the article. I'll try and pull it up in a second, but I like the article that just came out as well, that says that typically in most sectors, the first mover advantage is kind of one that sticks around for forever for the most part, with the exception of EVs and that kind of industry, because tech is always changing. For instance, even right now, like Lucid has substantially better tech, and there's so many different things as well, and a lot more projects going forward. One of the things I do feel that is going to be a very strong race is to the 25,000 vehicle. So obviously Lucid can do that in 4 years if they have a partnership, 9 years if not, whereas I believe Tesla will be there by probably 2024. So I think that would be a very critical race to get to. But a lot of good things. And yeah, these are the volume and revenue forecasts as of right now. So again, a lot of good things going for everything. So yeah, Lucid is definitely very well established and going to be doing a lot of good things when it comes to that as well. Oh, you saw the Lucid office? Oh wow, 20 minutes charges 300 miles. Lucid through the moon. Exactly. I love it. Lucid through the moon. Perfect. Very well said. And this is perfect moment for this. Boom and boom. Exactly. Rocket to the moon. That's what Lucid is going to do. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, management team as well. Management team is very pivotal when it comes to a company like this. And I think like there's some motor trend, like a lot of good things coming its way as well. But even 2022 Lucid Air, like even basic kind of reviews are coming out now, and all good, right? It's, yeah, honestly, it's there's nothing really bad that could be said about it, right? Especially when it came to Tesla coming out. Not only did they mess up on their deliveries, but they messed up on like the actual product as well, right? And even like Tesla's been around, coming on, I think, delivering for quite some time now, right? Getting, I don't know how long yet, but I still see people on YouTube. Like my wife watches some YouTubers that just talk and rant about whatever, do vlogs, and some of them bought Teslas and they came damaged, like outright in their vlog. They're like, oh, like this is scratched. This is this. It's like, that isn't the representation that Lucid has. Lucid has good quality products, and there's people, like I already said, that do try to do that. They try to make it look worse than what it is, but in reality, it's not. Yeah, looking at that chart though, that's nice. Can't complain with that. Especially the option game on Lucid, like this dip, whoever bought the dip on options and everything like that, definitely. Oh, you bought more Lucid stock? Good stuff, good to hear. What did it touch today? Too many tabs up. That is a little bit of a scary chart though. But yeah, whatever. If you can make money on anything, do it. That's the key. Yeah, I agree with you. Don't sell Lucid. Lucid is honestly, it's one of those ones that is going to be like everyone's favorite in their portfolios. I believe so, Marbet. From what I've seen. Yeah, nothing's changed as far as with Johnny. So yeah, that could be a connection why Apple might come into the picture as well. So who knows? What do you guys think about that? Do you guys want that? Well, Apple's starting to, or I mean, AMC is breaking down, or did. Yeah, when I started to do a lot of AMC videos as well, and yeah, this is a nice looking chart here. Lucky those that bought September 1st, like myself. $15.86. Got really low. Love it. Same as today, even I saw, was it first thing, it got to, it might have been like lower, but when I started watching, the pre-market was 49.05. I was like, wow. That is a steal of a deal, and lucky for those that bought. 120%. Love to see that. Yeah, possibly 𝗪𝗏𝗧𝗛. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, 20 shares is still 20 shares. Keep in mind when that goes to 200 next year, that 20 shares will be a lot better than 0, right? Yeah, no, I agree with that. Lucid is very similar to Apple. So I do agree with that. They would be a good comparison, good match to each other, that they both have very high quality products and everything like that. But at the end of the day, I think it's a lot more beneficial for Apple versus for Lucid. Like Lucid is for growth and getting that component, especially considering like how much money Apple actually does have, and that could help Lucid with expansion. That's if that obviously wasn't part of the like agreement or something like that, or whatever kickback Lucid would get. Like it is okay, but at the end of the day, it's basically like, I don't know, Apple would just be getting an in on Saudi Arabia, and as far as it's like renting someone's house, right? And then you want out, so you just leave, and then that person is left there with all the extra like fixtures and all that stuff. I know that's a bad analogy, but you get what I'm saying, right? It's just a lot more risk when it comes to Lucid, and especially Lucid starting out. As much as we all like Lucid, one of those things and Apple pulls out, then yeah, that would be a killer, definitely. But yeah, no, there's a lot of positives either way, whatever way you see it at all. Yeah, agree with that, Fabian. Try, honestly, buy the dips. When it comes to Lucid, Lucid has been one of those companies that you just need to buy the dip every single time. Definitely. No, I didn't hear. I didn't know about that love from. I'll have to take a look at that. I saw Johnny's connection, and why that could be a good piece together. But as far as about that component with Ferrari, I didn't know that either. Yep. Sometimes I guess that was also partially a negative too, right, 𝗪𝗏𝗧𝗛? That Lucid does have everything in tech, in-house, instead of kind of outsourcing. A lot of upfront cost, and especially for a company such as that doesn't have that much disposable income, because as much as we like Lucid, they only have, was it 4 point something billion. So if something goes wrong, it could offset them quite a lot, right? And they have a lot of big plans coming, which requires that like money, like a substantial amount, right? 4.8 billion. So something goes wrong. Let's say they are starting their Saudi Arabia plant. They do a little bit of a dilution. They do start Saudi Arabia plant or whatever, another one. Then, yeah, I don't know. Just not a lot of excess room to make mistakes in. So this is why I think Lucid is doing everything right and planning. And I do feel that there's going to be an issuance and dilution in early 2022, probably either close to their next earnings, before or after, most likely after. But still, that's beneficial for Lucid in the long term as well. Hey, what's up, Tyler? How's it going? Talking some Lucid right now. Yeah, that is true. I agree with that, 𝗪𝗏𝗧𝗛. Yeah, I agree with that, Albany. Buy the stock, depending on what your game is as well, and how much into it you are. Doing options as well, very profitable. If you guys don't know how to do options, highly suggest in researching them. Out of everything, I think whoever has done options, especially calls, early on calls as well, Man, those guys must be like substantially doing very well for themselves. Actually, I'll pull this up instead. Okay, so let's see. Let's pull up Lucid. Well, it really wants me to expand completely, eh? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to scrap that. Don't need to see that. That's annoying me. But yeah, I was going to show you some options. Option game on Lucid is absolutely like insane. That's what I've been doing. I have about 750 actual shares, and then doing a lot of options. Covered calls, and selling puts as well. A lot of good ways. Oh yeah, I totally should. Hopefully Kathy does. That would be insane if she actually bought into, bought in. That would just go in, like the price would just probably jump up at least like 20% in one day, 20-30%. Well, and plus, like for argument's sake, if you think about it, especially this this new strategy, I could see her easily throwing Lucid into this new ETF kind of aggressive strategy, because like everyone knows like Tesla, and this is why even again the comments, everyone knows, and they're not going to make the same mistake as Tesla, right? Tesla, I'm sure there's a lot of people that sold out and things like that, didn't utilize the full potential of Tesla. They're not making that mistake with Lucid. And Lucid hasn't really gone through the expansion stage, right? It has gone up substantially, but by no means at all what Tesla did. So in that comparison, I do feel that a lot of people are starting to get in. Kathy, in reality, probably would just be waiting for confirmation that they actually can do the deliveries and get the 520 by this year. Because again, like I already mentioned about Netflix, it all fluctuates based on subscribers, right? Number of subscribers and users is dictating what their price is going. I do feel that's what's going to happen with Lucid. So, and in reality, I think that's the only reason why she would be holding off. But she could easily throw it in this risky, aggressive strategy ETF, just for argument's sake, but knowing very well that it's a good long-term investment that she can incorporate in a lot of other ARK products. So yeah, honestly, do it. I'll join you. I'll contact Kathy, see if she'll. Oh, that's a very interesting one. No, I don't believe that this is a EV.com bubble, because typically in the .com bubble there was a huge misprice or missetting of the price for everything, and plus .com, a lot of fake companies were made. In reality, it's just because ultimately, at the end of the day, I guess when it comes to all these growth stocks, the reason for their evaluation is so high is because of their tech, which their tech is hard to put a value on that, especially the utility cost on the consumer for that. And so there's that component, and its growth. So Lucid has gone up so much as it has because of its growth, right? We actually have learned that they can do what they say and so again, it goes back to the question that there's nothing really to doubt them, no real reason for us to doubt anything that Lucid has done or has said, right? So yeah, it's one of those things that at the end of the day, it's very advantageous, and we all know that their growth expectation and plans, especially for within this decade, is insane. So no, I don't think that we're in a bubble at all. Rivian, though, I think they're piggybacking off of Lucid and other ones, and I completely find it funny that Jim Cramer even threw Lucid and compared them in the same sentence as Rivian in reality when they're not. So no, I don't think we're in a bubble at all. Actually, again, make sure you always do my polls, because I like to reference them as well. It gives me a good representation of seeing exactly what things are. So this one's overvalued. So I did do 2 polls that's kind of relevant to your topic. Do you feel Lucid is overvalued? Majority of people still say no. But one common thing that you can kind of tell based on even like working with Apple, as far as if Lucid is overvalued and if the EV sector is in a bubble, everything's pretty close, right? 53-47, like 45-53. So everything is fairly tight knit, right? So it could go either way. Clearly, there's a lot of individuals that do feel that there is a bubble to some degree. I do feel that if things were to pop, like for instance, interest rates, that would dramatically cause a big dent in EV and growth in general. So, I don't know. Yes, that would, Emma. If they go, if they have a multiple of 2.5, that would definitely put them over. When do you think about that? Oh, so need. Okay, so I did do a video. I don't know if you saw that on Apple and Lucid. Ultimately, I guess if we were to compare, Hyundai really burned Apple, especially pulling out and just outright slapping Apple. So I do feel that if Apple is to redo another partnership, which if it is with Lucid, they're not going to announce it straight away. And overall, the whole lifespan of the Hyundai Apple kind of situation started early January, ended about early February, so about 1 month. I do feel that, like I said, they're kind of learning their lesson. So if that does happen, and most likely, I don't know. I think a lot of people, including Apple, are probably waiting to see if Lucid can actually do what they say, right? Why would Apple tentatively want to work with Lucid when right now it's up in the air whether Lucid can actually get the vehicles out, right? Because Apple, ultimately, they want someone to manufacture their vehicles, to use their equipment and things like that. Why would they go at Lucid when that's still up in the air? So I don't feel that nothing will be said or anything like that until about 2022, early 2022. And if so, we probably still won't hear anything until everything is signed, agreed, and then like an actual agreement is set in stone. I don't feel that Apple will outright jump and make that mistake again. But I could be wrong. If they do that, then it would be very beneficial, 100%. Nice, that's a good entry, Nade. Yeah, $100 in Lucid is still better than nothing. I think in general, there's a lot of EVs that will exceed a lot of price targets. $8 million shares in one buy. Was that for? I'll have to take a look at that. But even from an institutional standpoint, there's a lot of big buyers getting in, right? And now it's ETF season for them declaring buying and so forth like that. A lot are getting in, right? And obviously then there's Vanguard but still pretty significant. And even looking at the percentage of their portfolio, putting Lucid at 5%, and you can see a couple like 2%, that's still pretty significant, right? Considering like again, validating goes back to the point that a lot of these institutions, like, they wouldn't be buying and doing all this if they felt that, or had a hint that it was a bubble, right? They wouldn't be putting 7% of their portfolio in Lucid if they thought that it was going to drop about like 40-50%. Yeah. There are still obviously some institutions that did fully get out, but that's to happen, right? Same as some people, right? NIO, I think they are in a kind of a niche of their own in China. I think a lot of American companies, whether it be Tesla or Lucid, obviously by the mid-decade, like, NIO is pretty set. I think they'll be very good, but when it comes to that whole China sector, it's going to be hard. 1,000,000%, yeah. And I think for even Tesla, which Tesla has had a hard time getting traction in China, Lucid, I do feel all American companies are going to have a hard time entering and staying constant in China. It's, yeah. NIO, but regardless, NIO is a very good buying opportunity as well, in my opinion. So NIO, Tesla, Lucid are all up there. And then depending on kind of what route you take, there's a lot of other EVs that you can incorporate, such as Hyliion, HYLN. They, yeah, there's a lot of good money to be made out there. Tail end of the day, so live updates. Short interest, tail end, it was when we started, it was 1%, now it's 2%. So shorts are definitely getting in there, right? And yeah, looking at this, yeah, shorts have definitely been entering for quite some time, and it is kind of a little bit of a dangerous thing, right? So keep in mind right now our short interest is 8.68. If Lucid was to hypothetically, again, just bringing up a risk, if they were to miss on their 2021 deliveries, then shorts are going to have a field day with this. So shorts are going to enter and try to destroy the price as much as possible. So on the contrary, though, this is where if they do meet their expectations, and why also I do feel that it could easily get to 70 plus by the end of the year, because now if they do actually meet their deliveries, then these shorts, like I already showed you, are right here, 8%. Tesla as of right now is 2%. There is and can be a small short squeeze, I guess, per se, but so yeah, shorts would definitely be scampering and selling, closing out their positions pretty fast if they do meet all their deliveries and things like that. 31%. Actually, to be honest, I think that's close to mine. I think mine's, yeah, like I think 30-25%, somewhere around there. Nothing wrong with that though. With that stats, especially on if Lucid does continue its route, then yeah, you'll be outperforming the market, definitely. Also, just on a side note, if you guys haven't already, smash the thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Join as a member. I greatly appreciate that. I'm going to be starting to do live streams, most likely next week, on Lucid and whatever people want to talk about. So again, even more incentive to sign up. So definitely join. Smash the thumbs up, do all that fun stuff. A lot of good things going on with Lucid. 𝗖𝗓𝗡𝗖𝗧, I think, is one of the biggest smoking guns. So yeah, I think a lot of people are starting to speculate a lot more now. I'm sure you can kind of tell based on how I've been talking as well in this video. Especially the lack of catalyst. People are used to just so many different things to talk about. So as of right now, it's kind of radio silence, right? And it's just more speculation now. A number of deliveries and who's possibly investing in them or possibly who's working with them, such as Apple. There's a lot of different ways that and benefits to investing in Lucid right now, all of which could come true, right? They could actually have a partnership with Apple. 𝗖𝗓𝗡𝗖𝗧 could invest. They could exceed their 2021 expectation for deliveries. There's a lot of different things. Yep, I agree with that, Marbat. So what do you guys do? Do you guys do options as well? And also, I guess I haven't really mentioned it. If you guys haven't, join the Discord. Very good place to be. A lot of good people, a lot of good chats, all that fun stuff. Everyone is pretty cool there. A lot of good info. Glad today's off though. So far, at least of the last 5 Fridays though, 3 have caused a little bit of a gamma squeeze. So that's pretty good statistics actually if you think about it at the end of the day. That's smart. Doing covered calls is so, like you can, like me just doing sometimes I do weeklies, and not just with Lucid, but yeah, I make like at least $500 every week just by doing selling puts. Easy. Well, you should learn Marbat. Very, very profitable, especially when it comes to Lucid. I do feel that Lucid is going to be a lot more active, and hopefully if they are on track for everything, they'll be a lot more transparent and actually talk a little bit more. Probably in December, at least when things are confirmed, right? That they're going to meet their expectations for 2021. And not only that, they're, as far as 2022, their expectations for deliveries, like I do feel that that can be done as well. Yeah, see all the like the tech and everything behind when it comes to Lucid's just so much better. Like very good team when it comes to that. With that said though, I appreciate you guys joining in. If you guys haven't already, smash a thumbs up and subscribe. I greatly appreciate that. Don't forget to stay tuned for a lot of Lucid videos and everything. Yeah, definitely have a good weekend, guys. I'm going to sign off now. And but other than that, you guys have a good weekend, and thanks for watching.